Hey everybody, Jeremy here. So today I want to show you the Ninja Foodi XL Pro Grill and Griddle. This is the newest Ninja Foodi grill to come out, and I think that it solves one of the biggest problems that I had with the other Ninja Foodi grills up until this point. And that problem is they weren't necessarily grills to me, because in order to work them, you had to close the lid down. And to me, that's really more of an air fryer. When you got the hot air blowing around and you got the fan and everything, I wanted to be able to cook stuff with the lid up, like you would do if you were outside on a grill. And this one allows you to do just that. Now, if you're looking at this somewhere in the future, know that this model came out somewhere between the end of the summer to the beginning of fall 2021, and the current price on this as of November 3rd, if you get it directly from ninjakitchen.com, it's a really cool $199, because they're running a promo where you can put in a little special code and it'll take off like $150 off the price, bringing it down to $199. Standard retail price is going to be around 350 bucks. There's also another version of this that costs a little bit more expensive that has the smart thermometer built into it. So you can use that to test out the temperature of your food while you're cooking it. That one doesn't have a really big discount code attached to it, but that is a model that you can get. And then lastly, there's another model that you can find at Walmart that sells for around 300 bucks, but just like all of Ninja's products, or at least most of them that they sell at Walmart, it's going to include a couple fewer features than the ones that you will find directly from Ninja or Kohl's or Target, Bed Bath & Beyond, places like that. All right, so now that we have that out of the way, let me tell you what you can do with this. So in addition to it being a grill, it has a grill grate. It's also a griddle. It comes with a little separate griddle attachment that I'm going to show you in a moment. And you can combine those two so that if you wanted to make steaks and burgers and get those cool grill marks on your food, vegetables, yeah, sure, you can do that. But if you didn't want to do that, instead you want to make some breakfast, maybe some grilled cheese sandwiches, you know, something like that, hash browns, you can use the griddle accessory in order to do that, either with the lid up or the lid down. So let's take a look at the box, go over some specs here. So the grill grate is going to be a 9x13 grill grate. The griddle is a 12-inch griddle, non-stick of course. It also is going to come with a crisper basket that's going to take care of your air frying, your fries and stuff like that. It's a 4-quart air crisping basket, by the way. And then as far as the different functions that you have, you're going to be able to, of course, grill and griddle, so that's 2. And you can also air fry and bake and broil and roast and dehydrate. So it kind of has all the best features of the previous Ninja Foodi grill, with the addition of being able to cook with the lid up or the lid down. All right, so this box is empty. I already put it together, already know how it works. So right now, let me take you over to the actual unit and show you how to put it together and how it functions. All right, so before I go over all the accessories and how you can work everything, I also want to point out that as part of that deal on ninjakitchen.com, they also threw in a couple of accessories and for free. And one of them are these silicone mitts, which are really useful. You'll be able to just put them on your hands like that, and you'll be able to pick up the baskets and stuff without burning yourself. And then they also threw in these roast lifters here. So hopefully by the time you see this, if you go there, they're still offering it, but I just wanted to point out everything that I got when I purchased it. All right, cool. So here is the unit. It's somewhat reminiscent of the first Ninja Foodi grill. It's got that rounded body and this dome on top that's also somewhat rounded, but it is a bigger unit. So here's everything that you're going to get with it. First, the most important thing that you need, because it ain't going to work unless you actually use it. So this is the Pro Power Grate. This is what you're going to be putting your food on when you start to grill. And if you flip it over on the back, you see that it has this little tab here. It has these connections, and this always needs to be inside of the grill in order for it to work. If you try, well, I'll just show you. You see that nothing is in there right now, right? So if I turn it on, it's going to say add grate. So if you don't have the grate in there, you're never going to be able to use it. So how do you put the grate in? Well, it's pretty easy. If you look on the front of it, you'll see that right here is the grease trap. So the grease trap always has to face you. So that's going to be facing out. You also see that it has these two little tabs right here. On the inside of the grill towards the front, it's little recessed spaces where these two tabs can go into. So I'm going to step over on this side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those two tabs in there first. So I'm going to sort of tilt it like this. And I'm going to put that in first. And then you see that it's still kind of raised right there. That's because you have to push it down. All right. So make sure those two tabs are in there and then you push it down to lock it in place. And now this grill grate isn't going anywhere. So wondering, Jeremy, how in the world do you take it out at this point? Well, over on the left side, there's this orange button. And when you push the orange button, it's spring loaded. So it frees the grill grate. All right, so just make sure that the grease trap is in the front. The two tabs are in the front. Make sure it goes down like that. Press it, locks it into place, and there you go. Good stuff. I'm gonna swing back over to the other side, show you the other accessory that you get with it. This is going to be the air crisping basket. Good for your stuff like your fries, your frozen food, whatever the heck you want to air fry. This is the basket that you are going to use for it, the 12-inch one. And it's really simple. You know, you just have to put that down in there like that. All right. And then just simply close it up. Cool. Good stuff. And then last but certainly not least, the griddle plate. Now here is the griddle plate. You see on one side, it has these grates that's very similar to what you would actually cook on, but you're not going to be cooking on that because this is a griddle. You're going to be cooking on the smooth, flat side. And so in order to do that, all you do is simply put it down in there. Put it down in there like that. It's just going to stay exactly where it is. And then you'll be able to close it. And then you'll be able to griddle just like that. It's really simple stuff. All right, so let's turn this thing on. Let's move the griddle out of the way. And let's take a look at some of these functions that you have access to. So first, by default, you have grill. That's going to be highlighted. You turn the knob and you can put it on roast. You can put it on broil. You can put it on bake. And then over on the other side, the right-hand side, the very first option is going to be barbecue griddle, followed by air crisp, and then followed by dehydrate. Okay, so let's say that you wanted to grill something. What do? Well, first, move that knob over to the grill setting, just like that. And then over on the right side, you see that there's a temperature setting, and then there's also a time setting. So what you would do is you would hit the temperature setting. It starts to flash. And then when you move the knob at this point, you can choose the different heat settings. So you can have it on medium, which is 2 flames. You can have it on low, which is 1 flame. And then the very high is going to be max with 4 flames. See, so it goes 4, 3 for high, 2 for medium, 1 for low. You pick whichever one that you want, and then you just simply press that in, and then it's going to start the preheating process. If you wanted to cancel out, let's say that you thought that you wanted to grill, but then you change your mind, you decide, I want to bake it instead. How do you get out of this? Well, all you have to do is just hit this function button. It cancels everything out. Then you'll be able to turn the knob as normal to choose another function. All right. So the preheating process is also very important. Ninja recommends that you let the unit preheat in order to get the best results. You can cancel the preheat if you want. You see, like there's a little button right here that says preheat. So what you could do, let's say that you wanted to grill and you're like, sure, I'm going to put it on high. When you press it in, it tells you that you need to shut the lid. So what you do is you close it, you shut the lid. It begins the preheating process. But if you decide, hey, I don't want to preheat anything, then you just press this preheat button and it's immediately just going to say add food. And at this point, you take whatever food that you're gonna cook, you put it on the grill grate. And if you wanna cook with the lid up, you simply just wait a few seconds. It's asking you to add the food. And as you can see, the countdown has started. So even when you're cooking with the lid up, it still has a countdown. And you see it's counting down from 10 minutes by default. But of course, you can always hit the time button. You can add time. When you spin the knob really, really fast, unfortunately, the numbers don't go up as fast as you're turning it. So you kind of have to be smooth and gradual about it. It goes all the way up to 30. So if you want to give yourself a little bit of extra time, there you go. It's at 30. And so your heating element is going to be activated and you'll be able to start cooking like that with the lid up. But however, it is recommended that you let the preheat go and run its course before you actually start to cook on it. So if you wanted to use the griddle plate rather, it's the same process. You just put the griddle plate on there and then the heat's going to transfer from the grill plate that's already in there. It's going to transfer over to this. So it would just be the exact same function. Move it over to barbecue and griddle, and then you hit the temperature button, and then you have access to all your temperatures up to 400 degrees and all the way down to 300 degrees. And of course you can change the timer there as well. Same thing. You press the button in, it tells you to shut the lid so that you can preheat. Same process. It's going to begin to preheat, and when it's done, you lift up the lid. And if you decide that you don't want it to preheat, then all that you do at that point is simply press that button. And then you can immediately just start adding the food. All right, so that in a nutshell is how it works. It's not very complicated, so that is a good thing. And yeah, so now I am going to make something on here. Haven't made up my mind what that's going to be, but when I come back, I'll have the exact idea of what it's going to be. And also make sure that you clean all of this stuff when you get it out the box. Get yourself a nice, smooth, soft cloth, some hot water, a little bit of dish soap, clean it all up, then it'll be ready to go. See you in a second with what I'm going to cook on this thing. All right, so I figured it out. I'm going to make Philly cheesesteak egg rolls today. And I'm going to show you how you can do this too. Now, this is not going to be 100% authentic because unfortunately I can't use onions because my wife doesn't like onions. You probably heard me say that in some other videos. So you add onions if you really want it to be as close to authentic as possible. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to close down this lid. It was up. I'm going to turn it on. And I'm going to be using the griddle for this. So I'm going to move this over to the barbecue griddle. And then 400 degrees. Yep, that's good enough for me. 30 minutes. Why not? I don't want to run out of time. And I'm just going to hit preheat. Now the preheating process is going to take about 10 minutes or so. And when you start preheating it with the barbecue griddle function, you're going to notice that at first you're just going to hear some clicking, but you're not going to hear the fan come on immediately like you would if you were preheating for the grill function. So you just got to wait a few minutes, and then after a few minutes, the fan is going to kick on, and then it's really going to start rolling. So for right now, we just kind of got it heating up, sort of like just at the bottom, but then everything is going to kick on. All right, so I'll come back when it's finished preheating and we can get cooking. All right, guys, so preheating is done. This is not a quiet unit, I should point out. Now, it's not going to run you out of your own house, but it's by no means quiet, just so you know. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take some butter. How much butter? I'm not sure. What is this? Maybe like a tablespoon or something? I don't know. Just going to put it down right there. I'm going to let that butter melt. One thing that I wanted to kind of point out is that when you put the griddle attachment on the grill, make sure that the little spout, it's like a little divot in the corner. Make sure that that's facing the same way as the grill grate at the bottom. That way the surface is going to be flat and you won't have to worry about all your food and stuff being pushed towards the front. So just make sure that that's like that. And now I'm just going to add in some green bell pepper. If I were using onion, then I would have put in green bell pepper and onion in addition to the butter. But I'm just using the bell pepper. But I recommend that you do this and you use the onion as well. All right, so I'm gonna let this cook maybe about 5-ish minutes or so. Just until everything gets kind of soft and, you know, gets kind of happy. Then I'm gonna take it out of this and then I'm gonna add the actual meat. So just let this hang back and chill for a little bit, for a few minutes. Then we'll come back, we'll add the meat. So according to this clock at the bottom, it's been a little over 5 minutes. I think I'm comfortable with the way that these green pepper dice pieces have turned out. So now I'm gonna take these out. I'm gonna put them inside of a container. This is the part where having these mitts comes in handy, because I'm able to just take this and lift it with one hand. And I'm just gonna bring it over to my bowl and just kind of dump it down right there inside of the bowl. So next we're gonna add the meat, but first, a little bit more butter. Get the butter going in there. We're still at 400 degrees, the hottest that this can get. Let's move this butter around a little bit. And as you can see, we kind of put it towards the middle. See how it's holding its steady ground. It's like right there in the middle. It's not sliding up. It's not sliding down. So that's why it's very important to make sure that these two notches line up. All right, so I got my meat here. Beef shaved steak. So I didn't have to do it myself. It already came that way. So I'm just gonna dump this container of meat right down on there. It may look like a lot, but it'll reduce as we go on. And in case you're wondering, that was a really quick cut so that I can wash my hands. Now we're just gonna kind of try to break this meat up a little bit. But here's something else that I think is really helpful. And this is better if you have wooden utensils. You know, I think a lot of us, you know, we just use one thing all the time. But it's good if you can have a couple of different utensils to help you out, you know? That's why I wish I had like a really good quality wooden spoon. And like, you know, just really nice wooden cookware so that I can break this up and feel fancy about it. So I'm just gonna break that up just a little bit. And while I do that, don't forget about your seasoning, man. You gotta season the meat. So, got some salt here. Put some salt on there. And actually, add just a little bit more. Where are we at with the salt? There we go. Just a little bit more salt. And pepper. Salt and pepper. Okay. Awesome sauce. Don't forget to season the meat. All right. So I'm just going to continue to kind of move this around, mix it up, break it apart. As it cooks, it's going to be a lot less stringy, and it'll be easier to break it up into smaller pieces. You know, you don't have to have them like super duper small, you know, but you know, just work at it a little bit. We're going to keep on doing this until we're cooked through. But also, I want to turn your attention real quick. Now over here, these are our egg rolls. I really do recommend that you prep these ahead of time because things are going to start moving pretty quickly. This meat is almost finished cooking. So I got myself here 4 sheets of egg roll wrappers. These are vegan because I couldn't find any other ones, but it's okay. I love my vegan people. It's a lot of really good vegan food out there too. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. These are vegan egg roll wrappers with provolone cheese right here in the middle. And actually, while I'm over here, I'm gonna grab a bowl real quick and just put a little bit of water on there, because the water is gonna help when it comes to wrapping up the egg rolls. And also, what you should have available, vegetable oil. And I also recommend like one of these with the little kind of silicone tip brushes, and that'll help you out when it comes to spreading that vegetable oil on the egg rolls once you get them wrapped. And my wraps are not going to be perfect, you know, but hey, this is good comfort food, good snack food. It would have been really good to have while the World Series was going on, if you caught that. Braves won. Woo! Finally, some good news. All right. So yeah, guys, I'm just gonna keep messing around with this and try to chop it up as much as I can while it's almost done. Then when that's done, I'm gonna bring it over here and we're gonna start filling it up. Actually, now that we're almost done, I'm gonna bring back these bell peppers. Let me get all of them. Yep. Bring back the bell peppers. It's almost 100% there. And this will just kind of round it out. Also with this grill, one thing you should know is that there are gaps around the edges. So chances are, if you're doing stuff like this, you're probably going to lose a little bit of food inside of those cracks. But it's not the end of the world. It's really no big deal. You'll get to it when you get to it. Just don't hurt yourself trying to get to it. All right. And come back when it's time to fill these egg roll wrappers. All right, so our meat is done. I turned off the grill just to, you know, cut down on that heat. And now I'm going to start trying to form these egg rolls here. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do all of these. I'm just going to, you know, do one, then I'll, you know, cut to the other part. But here's what I'm basically going to do. I'm just going to take some of this filling and just put it right on top of the cheese. The pepper to steak ratio is a bit off, but it's okay. It's okay. All right, so let's just say that's how much I wanted to put on here. So I'll just put all these, make sure that it's on there good. Awesome. Now I'm just going to try to wrap it. So I'm going to take one end of it. Hold on, my OCD is getting to me. Well, forget it, I'll leave that on. All right, so I'm just going to take the end of it here, kind of bring it up like this. Then I'm going to wet my finger a little bit in water and kind of just put it along these different edges here to help it stick. Bring it up like that and kind of just fold this down. Kind of like fold these in, kind of, and then fold these in, and then just kind of grab it and just kind of roll and try to keep everything in. And then when I kind of get to the end here, wet my finger a little bit more, wet the tip, giggity, and then just kind of wrap the rest of it, you know, as best I can. Now, I'm not an egg roll wrapping expert, but hey, what are you gonna do? All right, so that's one. All right, so there you go. You get the idea. Practice makes perfect to make the perfect looking egg roll. I did my best for right now. I have done better, but you know, just not today. But anyway, I'm just gonna pour a little bit of vegetable oil on it, and then taking this little very soft silicone tipped brush, channel my inner Bob Ross. We're just gonna take a little bit of happy vegetable oil and really gentle, just dab the top, get it along the sides. Really gentle, really gentle. This is gonna nourish you. So you gotta be friendly. And then you're gonna do the same thing with the rest of the egg rolls. And when I come back, we're gonna start the air frying process. So now it's time to air fry these. And one of the things that you could do is while you're wrapping up the egg rolls and everything, you can just take the griddle plate out and then prepare the unit so it can be up to temperature for the air frying. But because I'm doing all this different stuff and I'm trying to film, everything takes longer. But anyway, let's get started. All right, so let's turn this back on. I got the air frying basket right here. So I'm just going to put this down in there. All right, and I am going to move it over to the air crisp function. Temperature, I'm going to set it at 400 degrees. I'm just going to leave it at 20 minutes because, you know, why not? But we're not going to actually do it for 20 minutes. You know, just keep it on there by default. Close this down and let the preheating begin. Preheating is not going to take that long, just a few minutes. And then when it's done preheating, just take that little egg rolls that you're coated with the vegetable oil, stick it in the air fryer, and come back and check on them. I'll say like every few minutes, maybe like 5 minutes, give it a check one time, and then give it another check maybe every 2 minutes after that. Flip them over if you want to, but we're just trying to get them nice and brown. So come back when everything's done. All right, so there is our egg roll, one of them. Little inside look. Let's taste it. Give it a few minutes to cool, word of advice. But these are really good. You know, it's even better if you know how to wrap an egg roll. That way you can eat with your eyes and with your taste buds. But I'm actually very happy with how these turned out because not a lot goes into it, and it's just very, very simple. Salt and pepper is the only thing that I use to season it, with a little bit of butter to cook it in, and it tastes fantastic. It tastes great. It would be even better if it had onion in it. So that should give you an idea of some of the versatility that you can have with the Ninja Foodi grill to be able to use the griddle and then immediately go over to the air fryer function in order to complete what you're making. And I highly do recommend these. It'll make for some good snack food any day of the week. All right, so that's it for me, guys. I'm gonna do more videos about this Ninja Foodi grill in the future, so stay tuned for that. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks so much for watching. Till next time, I'm Jeremy. Talk to you later.